Welcome back to Discussions with Dr. G. I am Dr. G, your sarcastic yet humble nursing professor, and will be your vaccination superstar, taking you through the gambit of all things immunity. All right, let's kick things off with the basics of immunity. I know, you're probably tuned in, hoping for a little less science, a little more drama, but trust me, this is where the magic starts. So, immunity. There's active, and then there's passive. Think of it like learning to ride a bike versus getting a ride in the basket. Active immunity is when your body actually learns to fight off the bad guys, either because you got sick and survived, or because you got a vaccine. Natural active immunity is, well, you get sick, you survive. Your immune system throws a party and remembers the invader for next time. Artificial active, that's your vaccines. Much safer than, say, nearly dying of smallpox. I mean, I had chickenpox as a kid back in the day when everyone just got it. Your mom would drag you to the neighbor's house for a pox party. I still remember the itching, the oatmeal baths, and my mom muttering about building character. But here's the thing. I also remember my classmate who ended up in the hospital with pneumonia for chickenpox. That's when it hit me. Natural immunity comes with a price, and sometimes it's way too high. Now let's talk passive immunity. This is a whole different ballgame. That's when you get the antibodies ready-made. Babies, they're freeloaders. Sorry, but it's true. They get antibodies from mom through the placenta or breast milk. That's natural passive. Artificial passive is when we give you preformed antibodies, like immunoglobulins, for immediate short-term protection. Think rabies exposure. No time to wait for your immune system to catch up. So why does this all matter? Because understanding the difference between these helps you to explain to patients why vaccines are the safer bet. You want your body to learn Kung Fu, just not borrow someone else's moves for a few weeks. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty. The immunization schedule. I promise it's not as scary as it looks on those CDC charts. Let's start with the classics. DTaP, IPV, MMR, varicella, and Hep B. DTaP is the trifecta: diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. You get it at 2, 4, 6, 15 to 18 months, and again somewhere between 4 and 6 years. It's like the greatest hits album of childhood vaccines. And yes, kids get fussy, maybe a little feverish, but that's normal. If you see a high-pitched cry or seizures, that's when you worry. IPV, which is polio, same deal. 2, 4, 6 to 18 months, and 4 to 6 years. Polio is still out there in some parts of the world, so don't let anyone tell you it's ancient history. MMR, measles, mumps, rubella, 12 to 15 months, and 4 to 6 years. Not for pregnant folks or anyone with a serious allergy to gelatin or neomycin. And varicella, aka chickenpox, same schedule as the MMR. If you see a mild rash after the shot, heads up, that kid is contagious. Hep B starts at birth, then 1 to 2 months, and again 6 to 18 months. First dose within 24 hours if the baby is stable. There's also Hib, PCV13, rotavirus, and hepatitis A, each with their own quirks and timing. And don't forget the seasonal stuff, flu and COVID. Flu is annual for everyone over 6 months. COVID, well, that's a moving target, but annual updates are the new norm. Now let's talk about what happens when people skip vaccines. There's this community, let's just say, not naming names, where a bunch of kids missed their MMR. Next thing you know, measles outbreak. Kids in the hospital, schools closed, parents panicking. It's not just about one kid. It's about the whole community. Herd immunity, right? Herd immunity isn't just a buzzword. It's real and it matters. Herd immunity is where the majority of the population is vaccinated to protect those that are immunocompromised and cannot become vaccinated. All right, let's get practical. Before you go jabbing anyone, always screen for allergies, eggs, gelatin, neomycin, you name it. And definitely check pregnancy status, especially for an MMR and a varicella. I can't tell you how many times I've had to explain that no, the flu shot does not give you the flu. I had this one parent, bless her heart, absolutely convinced her kid got the flu from the vaccine. She was ready to write a letter to the CDC. I sat her down and explained that the inactivated vaccine cannot cause the flu, and that what her kid had was probably just a regular cold. She still looked a little skeptical, but at least she didn't bring out the tinfoil hat. The other option is her kid may have already had the flu and we just didn't know it. By the time we have flu symptoms, the flu's already been on us for 2 to 3 days. All right, let's talk reactions. Normal reactions: soreness, low-grade fever, maybe a little rash. That's your immune system doing its thing. But if you see high fevers, seizures, or persistent crying, that's when you want to have the parents call the doc. And please, keep patients seated after the shot if they're prone to fainting, especially teenagers after the HPV vaccine. I've caught more than one kid mid-swoon. Bottom line, vaccines protect you, your family, and your community. You're not just giving shots, you're giving people a shot at a better future. And hey, if you ever need to debunk a myth or calm a nervous parent, just remember, a little patience, a lot of facts, and maybe a dash of sarcasm can go a very long way. That's it for today. Go forth, vaccinate, and may your sharps never clog. We'll dig into more medication adventures next time.